going on, everybody? Welcome to our first edition of Life and Business with Johnny Vo. I'm your host for today, Aaron Cerna, but usually it'd be John who'd be taking over with this. But for today, I'll be the one interviewing the man himself, Johnny Vo. So hey, welcome. We're going to be talking about life and business and all that good stuff. So John, you're a father, a husband, a businessman running 3 businesses, right? Is the 4th one coming soon?
That's a lot, man. Like
That's a lot.
You're pumping up my tires way too much, Mio.
Yeah.
Thank you for those kind words. Yes, we're always looking at leveraging more and more businesses. However, we want to conquer and do really well in our existing businesses.
Yeah, that's right. As you look at it, that's what John does. You know, some people might say he's crazy and I don't know how he does it, but you're making it happen.
We're making it happen every day. And I've got a team behind me, which helps.
Which helps. No, that's really good. And what we do here in the Life and Business podcast is that we talk about how in life and business, how we balance all those things. We're gonna be interviewing high capacity people of position in business and such, to bring them into our show and ask them how they do what they do and how they make the most of life and doing the things that they love and also balancing and managing their lifestyles. So for today we have John, we have you, and he'll be hosting the feature sessions. And you run a cleaning business, a consulting business, and also a dealership business.
That's right, Mio.
Yeah, that's right. It is right. I'm wondering if I'm saying this right, because you're giving me a wondering look.
No, it's I don't often sit down and think about how many businesses I run.
Yeah.
I look at it as these are things I just need to do to make it happen.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's a responsibility. I've got teams behind me, and we just need to make it work.
Yeah.
So I don't really often sit down and reflect on how many businesses we have.
Yeah.
I do look at how many tasks I have to do.
No, that's good. And let's start there for our first question, right? So the things that we need to do. So running 3 businesses and my goodness, running a household.
Yes.
How do you do that? How do you make that happen? Because for some people, that's a lot to take on.
Sure, and I guess over the years, you build your capacity. Like anything, when we're children, we learn to crawl, we learn to walk, then we run, then we do all these fancy things. We can skip and do gymnastics, so our body becomes, or it has more capacity.
Yeah.
So for me, I've built that capacity over time.
Yeah.
And I just look at it as each and everything that I need to do, if I categorize it as a task, okay, I need to do this in my cleaning business, I need to do this in my dealership business, I need to have team meetings, I need to do this for my children, for my wife, for my whole family. So it's a task, and you do one thing at a time rather than focusing on, oh, jeepers, I need to do these 3 things in the next 20 minutes. That becomes overwhelming, and I start thinking about it. All of a sudden, there goes 40 minutes that I've just wasted.
Yeah.
But if I focus on, okay, what's the first thing I do? I just do that first, then I go to the next thing. Then by the time you get to the 3rd thing, you're done.
Yeah.
And you've probably saved yourself some time as well by just actioning it rather than thinking about it.
And that's really good. That's really good. And how are you finding that, How are you finding managing all those things at the same time?
Well, sometimes it's a breeze.
Yeah.
But on most part, it's actually very hard work to make those things happen. But when it all comes together, you enjoy the fruits of your hard work. So then it becomes really good, it's easy, it's enjoyable, and it's satisfying.
Yeah. I like the word that you use, enjoy. And just tell me about this. So running 3 businesses, the cleaning, the consulting, and the dealership business, why those businesses? There has to be a reason as to why we do these things, right? As you said, you enjoy it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I haven't really thought about that, but I think in principle, it comes down to me being a people's person. I love people. Like in the cleaning business, I love going out, meeting customers, having a chat to them, asking about what their passion is, what do they do for a living, how many children they have, where they love going on holidays. And I'm always seeing new people. I used to be in IT, stuck behind a computer screen. That was so boring. Fell asleep so many times behind the computer. Boss didn't care because I was making him money.
Yeah.
And in the camper, in the dealership business, we sell caravans and camper trailers. And so it's a passion of mine as well. So I get to talk to them about the places around Australia, the places where we can go, getting bogged in your vehicle, all these things I'm passionate about. So then therefore I enjoy it, and the people can see that I'm passionate about it, and it naturally just grows the business.
I like the fact that you use the word passion a lot. And I think this is one of those things that, for people, like, generally in life, right, when you're doing business, there's a question of passion or profitability.
Yes.
And I think with you've found the sweet spot, I would say. Would you say you found a sweet spot in that regard?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because I have tried to chase businesses where I'm purely focused on profit.
Yeah.
And then I've done things where we call them love jobs,
Yeah.
where there's no money coming in. So you need somewhere in the middle.
In between, yeah.
Yeah, and what I've found is I've been able to execute our businesses where I'm very passionate, but I will ask for what I'm worth.
Yeah.
And in return, the customer goes, yeah, right.
So for our listeners out there who are wondering, who they do have passions that they
Yes.
want to pursue into business, but at the same time don't quite know how, or there is the fear of like, what if this doesn't work out, right? So from somebody who's gone through that and has
Yes.
made it work,
Yeah.
where can they start in that regard? How can they? Yeah.
That's a great question. And I've had a lot of businesses that haven't taken off, and I learnt a lot.
Yeah.
So my encouragement to people is to go get a mentor, get a coach, get someone with some business experience that has been through those things.
Yeah.
Don't talk to your best mate that has never done business, because that's not going to be helpful, right?
No.
Because they could send you down the wrong path.
Yeah.
Not intentionally, but just they don't have the experience. So you need to talk to someone that has expertise.
And this is what you did in your startup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I've got a good example from yesterday. I was out doing a job and I met a young lad. He's in the scaffolding business. He works for someone. And we just had a quick conversation about, what's your dream? What do you want? He goes, I want to buy a house, Johnny. So we actually broke it down and we worked out that it's going to take him a very long time to get his deposit in the job that he's in. But he's really passionate. He's an expert in what he does. And I said, why don't you start your own business in this field? And he started throwing all the challenges, all the barriers.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, stop. Hang on. How about I'll give you some ideas? Okay, let's talk about scaffolding business. Get some clients. I'll even help you get some clients. So get some clients. You rent out the scaffolding, get it dropped there, and you install it. So you install it. You know what to do. You install it. So you don't have any equipment.
Yeah.
You're making some money. You're not making as much as a full business owner,
Yeah.
but in time you build that work and that reputation, then you can start buying and investing in equipment.
Yep.
And next thing you know, fast forward, you've got your house in a space of a couple of years. The deposit for the house. Is that helpful?
That's helpful, yeah. And it's really perhaps having the passion of knowing what you want to do, knowing what you're good at,
Yes.
and the dreams and goals of where you want to be, alongside the business acumen of how to get there.
Yes.
Break it down step by step,
Yes.
right? But it really is taking a start,
That's right.
right? Which is, I think, for most of us, can be quite daunting. Would you say?
It is. And I think, a lot of people look too far ahead.
Yeah.
They look at, the costs involved, the time.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, right. The resources, the
yeah.
staff issues.
Yeah.
Man, you don't have any staff yet. What do you think about staffing for?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You don't have the business yet. Don't think about all the issues. Just look at the opportunities.
And take it step by step.
That's right. And not necessarily taking the full plunge in, just dipping your toes in. You
Yeah.
can turn it into a side hustle. Like I said to the young lad, okay, you can do it on public holidays. You can do it on weekends. This job,
Yeah.
can't you? Because I can. That's your time.
Yeah.
And you don't have to leave your job. You can try it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, what have you got to lose?
Exactly.
And you know what he said to me?
What'd he say?
He goes, all I've got to lose is my time. Okay, that's right. Just time. Just time. Because the model that I gave you is just time.
Yeah. No, exactly. And so we just answered how to perhaps pursue a passion and business tied hand in hand. That would be a good balance for both, right? For profitability and pursuing your passion. Now, the question I want to have is, you talk a lot about the importance of having a purpose-driven life, right? Pursuing your passion. So, in business aside, how important is it to pursue your passions, things that you're passionate about, that you feel like is your calling in life?
Sure.
Yeah.
So let's look at this guy over here. This guy over here, he works in a lolly factory. So his motto is, I make lollies, I get paid, I eat, I sleep.
Yeah.
And he does that for 40 years, right? Just looking at this person without even knowing him, Do you think he's doing something that he's passionate about? That grid that I drew up with the 8 hours, right? He's spending a third of his life doing something that it's not very enthusiastic, right?
That he's not. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that he's got a lot of purpose in that role. He's just making lollies, he's a machine operator.
Yeah.
And then, like a lot of people, they look forward to the weekend. How many people do you know look forward to the weekend? And they dread Mondays.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go
back to work.
Yeah.
And so work.
They're implying that work isn't great.
Yeah.
But what happens when you meet someone that goes, man, I'm so looking forward to Monday. Like, I just can't wait to get into the office.
Yeah.
And just get onto these projects. It's so good. That's someone with passion.
Yeah.
And then when you're passionate about that, you're just going to want to go to work. You're going to perform better at work.
Yeah.
You're going to get great results, not just for the workplace, but for yourself. Because you're going to share those great stories with your family, your wife, your children, your friends. And they go, hey, man, I want a piece of that too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to get back to these main questions I want to ask you, but just for a little while, I want to ask you, why do you think some of us find ourselves in positions where we're not passionate about our work? Why is that? And there's far too many stories like that.
Yeah, I think so. And I think, a lot of it is who you surround yourself with, right?
Yeah.
But asking yourself as well, what is my passion?
Yeah.
What is my purpose? Like, I know when I help people, I feel so fulfilled. So at church, I volunteer, I help facilitate certain leadership groups, other groups, bring people in. And when I see the transformation in them, that just fills me. It's not even a paid job, it's not a paid gig.
Yeah.
But I do it with a lot of passion. And for me, I feel that that's my way of giving back. The skills and knowledge, the experiences that I have, and helping people transform.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. That's really wonderful. So passion, purpose, and business is very essential.
I think so.
Yeah. Or even just in your workplace, if you're working, right? You gotta be passionate about what you do.
Yes.
That'll just improve the quality of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's dive into the side of business real quick. So we talked about like life and business just then, by merging those two things together. But in the areas of business, you've been doing business for about 20 years, right? So I want to ask you, what have you learned in doing business in 20 years through the triumphs and the trials, the failures, perhaps, the setbacks? What have you learned that perhaps we can benefit from this discussion?
Yeah, so anyone that's had any sort of failure, whether it's a failed project, a failed business, or failed multiple businesses like I have had, the biggest thing that I can give people to take back is, to learn from is, don't look back.
Yeah.
Have a glance, but don't look back too often, because when you look back, you're going to have resentment. You're just going to think about the past too much.
Yeah.
But if you're looking forward and go, okay, I'll take that and I'll learn. That was great. I'll take that and I'll utilize it in the next thing that I do.
Yeah.
Then you're due for success. It's a matter of time. Look at any successful entrepreneur out there. You will see them read their autobiographies, their stories. They will always tell you, go forward.
Yeah.
Go forward. And that's what I've done. On a much smaller scale, on a local scale.
Yeah.
And it's working for me.
Yeah.
Because, it's like the child always has that enthusiasm. And you don't want to shut them down. So you always got to go with enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Forward.
Yeah.
Show that you're passionate. And people can see. And they want that. Not someone let's do a practical example here. Right? So if you're smiling, how do you feel?
You feel good.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm sure you feel good.
Now, how do you feel right now?
I feel good right now.
Do you feel better than you just did a moment ago when I asked you to start smiling? Right?
Yeah.
You do. If we came in and I said, Mio, where's this? How come you're late? Mate, 5 days in a row, you're late. Where's the work that you're supposed to produce?
Yeah.
Right? You're going to feel like, how do you feel?
You'd feel challenged. You'd feel crap.
Yeah. And then after a while, you're going to have resentment, right? And you're not going to want to be here.
Yeah.
So I experienced those things and in the workplace, and what happens is I can't have that for people. So I don't want to be like that. I've done that before. I've shut people down.
Yeah.
So I've learned that contributed to my failures. What I have learned is if I encourage people to be better than me, to teach them what I know, and for them to actually surpass me, they're going to be enthusiastic. They're going to go, wow, John's giving me his trade secrets.
Yeah.
And that's what I do in my businesses. I give them
Yeah.
and I lift them to be better than me. Because in return, it makes my life easier.
Yeah.
And it helps excel the business forward.
So you've talked about in your trials that you don't look back to the challenges that perhaps set you back, or perhaps the failures that have happened in the business. You've also talked about being enthusiastic and looking forward towards the future and inspiring others around you.
Yes.
Right. And I think the word that really stuck out was enthusiasm.
Yes.
So why is that a key factor in terms of your learning in the past 20 years of doing business? Because that's not exactly something you'd hear from a standard business reviewer, a Stanford business reviewer, or like a Yale sort of like advice.
Are you sure? Or did you just miss those classes?
Maybe I just missed those classes, right? You don't exactly hear those things in a business sort of workshop or session, right?
Yeah.
But why is enthusiasm very important when it comes to business?
From my own experience, looking back when we were children, or even you look at children now, they always approach you with enthusiasm, right? If they approach you with a soccer ball, hey, let's play.
Yeah.
Right? Or, hey, we're going here. Or, Dad, can you help cook this?
Yeah.
You don't want to shut them down. And if you've ever shut a child down, you feel so convicted, don't you?
Yeah.
You feel terrible.
Yeah.
But when you encourage them, everyone's a winner.
Yeah.
They get what they want, or they get a great experience out of it. You get a good feeling out of it. And so what I did was I applied that enthusiasm in the workplace, in sales, in my businesses, and even people that I know. And they can see, they go, John, you're really enthusiastic. You show a lot of passion in what you do, whether it's mopping a floor or doing a $100,000 sale.
Yeah.
I apply that same enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And people not only respect that, but they also feel good. They feel like they're getting value for money.
Yeah.
But for me, I know that the enthusiasm just creates these awesome endorphins inside me. And just like, it's great. Just like, hey, I want to be here, man.
Yeah.
This is so good. Adapting from corporate to just working on the ground, wherever it is, that enthusiasm goes with me.
Oh, that's really cool. That's because it just really reminds me of the fact that as much as like thinking about business, there's a very sort of professional tone to it.
Yes.
We're working with people.
We are.
Right, and people love enthusiastic, passionate people.
Yeah.
And it just really works to better the working relationship, and networking, and even just making good first impressions, right?
Yes.
It really goes a long way in building relationships. So that's really cool, and we can take that on into our business, whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
Couple of last questions. I'm just aware of our time, and we'll wrap up here in a minute. If you could just quickly share with us, what are some applicable tools, key principles that have been helpful for you, aside from the things you've already mentioned about pursuing with passion, being on purpose, doing things that you really enjoy, that you're good at, and being enthusiastic. So those are three things we've learned today. But if there's other key principles that you'd like to share with us in doing business that have been helpful for you across the board, what are they? What can we add on?
One of the major things for me is treat people how you want to be treated.
Yeah.
Whether that's at home, your friends, in business.
Yeah.
Because when you treat people how you want to be treated, that's going to change the game.
Yeah.
Even if they're treating you bad, if they give you a bad first impression, treat that person how you want to be treated, and you will turn that situation around.
Yeah.
And if it's a business thing, you're probably going to win that sale because you've turned that situation around.
Yeah.
If it's a customer service experience, you'll turn it around. Because when you treat people how you want to be treated, you're going to give them respect.
Yeah.
You're going to be patient. You're going to be kind.
Yeah.
You're going to give them some love as well. And that's definitely going to change things up for you.
That's really good.
Is that helpful?
That's really helpful, yeah.
Yeah. And
that's really helpful.
Like another one is want to be there. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, in that moment, be there. Want to be there.
Yeah.
You're there for a reason, so want to be there. So have that attitude, have that mindset of, I want to be here, not I need to be here.
Yeah.
So there's a very big difference. Is people can sense and feel whether you want to be there or not. And if you've ever been congregating at a party, you can tell who wants to be there and who doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And customers are the same. They will know if you want to be there.
To be present.
Yes.
Be present, yeah.
In the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another one is empower your team. Let them take the reins.
How important is that, empowering your team?
For most people, anyone that I talk to that doesn't have a lot of experience in business, it's always, John, I'm scared. I don't want to. I can't, because they can't do it better than me.
Yeah.
But if you don't let someone learn to crawl, walk, run, skip, jump, and start doing gymnastics, kung fu, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They need time to learn those skills, right?
Mm.
So if you give them that time, they're probably going to be better than you.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Why? Because they're focusing on one particular skill set. Whereas you, as a business owner, your radius is huge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of skill sets that you need to focus on. But
Yeah.
this team member, this staff member, this manager of yours, they're focusing on one core area.
Mm.
And if you allow them to take the reins, they will run it better than you. And you need to believe it.
Mm. Wow. Now that's really. I'm sure that's really helpful for a lot of people who are listening to this in terms of businesses, right? Because for the most part, we like to control, we like to drive, and but at the same time, as businesses grow, as responsibilities and clientele grow, you want to be this person that management, that responsibility to
Yes.
others, and allowing others to take reins. It also gives them the ability to take care of your business too.
Definitely does.
And all those things.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Just as we conclude, as we wrap up, right? We talk a lot about business on purpose, pursuing your passions, being enthusiastic. Just as we conclude, what would you say to somebody perhaps who's earning good, but is not exactly enthusiastic about his work or his business, and doesn't feel like he's pursuing his purpose and passions in life? What would you say to that person?
Well, I would say to them that imagine yourself in a rocking chair.
Yeah.
You're now 85 years old. Your grandchildren turn up to you
Yeah.
and they're asking you, Grandpa or Grandma, how is your life like? Yeah. What do you want your answer to be? So it's not too late to change your direction right now. So
Yeah.
what do you want? How do you want to answer? For me is, I did all these things. For me, I help the community, I help create these businesses. I help my teams find their purpose
Yeah.
and do what they're enthusiastic about, not what I wanted them to do,
Yeah.
not for them to help me create profits. So I want to be able to tell my grandchildren that I had a purpose-filled life
Yeah.
and that I help people realize their potential. That's the story I want to tell. So for me, to the audience out there, I want you to think about what story do you want to tell your grandchildren. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. That's very powerful. And there you have it, folks. Johnny Vo with the message. I love it. I love it. Hey, we'll see you on the next episode. We're going to have John interviewing our future guest. We don't know who it is yet, but you'll find out very soon. And we'll let you guys know. That's it for me. I'm your host for today, Mior Sterna, and this is
Johnny Vo.
Johnny
Thanks,
Vo.
guys.
All right.
And remember, you have the power to change things. How's that?
How do you feel?
That's fine.